Alright, so you've crafted an introduction that has the reader excited and they can't wait to get into your paper. Your thesis statement has given them a really clear, strong idea of where they're going to go with the rest of the essay. And you've drafted your body paragraphs, and now you get to the point where you just don't know how to wrap it up. What do you do? What do you include in that concluding paragraph to really leave the reader with a strong positive impression of your essay? Well, one thing is that you should think about is that the conclusion is really the final statement of your paper. So you may have wonderful things going on throughout the paper, but if the conclusion is weak or lacking, that's going to be the final impression that you leave the reader with. So this statement needs to draw from all of the ideas and all of the analysis that you've done, throughout the rest of your paper, and really hammer home what you want the reader to think about those ideas. Let them know within no uncertain terms how you want them to respond to the information that's been presented in the previous pages of the essay. So your frame of mind should be, okay, and this is as if you were speaking to the reader, if you accept all the ideas I've presented here in the body, these are the implications. This is what you should do with it and how it should affect you. So I have a list of do's and don'ts for your conclusions, beginning with what to do, and I will give you examples of these as well. Do make sure that you stress the importance or the implication of the thesis statement. So you're going to come back to the thesis, but not by directly repeating it or restating it. You do want to draw together some of the separate different threads of your argument. If you've had a few different points that you have made, pull them all together. Demonstrate how they are going to work together now to create this final understanding of the topic. You do want to give your essay a sense of being complete. It should feel finished, not as if there's anything hanging left waiting to be said or explained to the reader. And you should be leaving a final impression on your reader. This might be calling them to take an action. This might be stressing the need for them to maybe reevaluate what they have thought in the past, their opinion on something or a belief that they've held. Or it might be explaining the application of your essay to the real life situations that people will find themselves in. Okay, so these are your 4 primary goals as you are crafting an introduction. So if we think about, first of all, stressing the importance of your thesis, right? Going back to the essay we looked at in introductions, the essay about farm subsidies, the thesis was the government policies of agriculture farm subsidies have to be changed in order to assure the livelihood and well-being of small farmers. Now, to stress the importance of that, okay, we come into our conclusion, which says there's no question that something has to be changed. Notice how we have similar wording as the thesis, but we're not restating it directly. Then we go on to pull together the topics that have been discussed in the rest of the essay. The abuse of farm subsidies has brought hardship to small farmers. Greed has left farmers needing more acres. Corporate farms have been formed and use these subsidies to expand themselves. And then now this is where we get into stressing the importance. Okay, because these policies need to be changed and they're not working correctly, it is difficult for young farmers to start up their own operations. The small communities are left in ruins because of the subsidy inadequacies and the fact that they go to corporate farms, and family farms are on the brink of extinction. Okay, so these are strong images and ideas to leave us with, and they stress the importance of this idea that subsidies need to be changed, or the policies need to be changed. All right, the next thing that we want to think about is how our conclusion will draw together the separate threads or the separate strands of argument that we have had throughout our essay. So this is a new essay that I'm introducing to you. The student wrote about the idea of art and specifically the censorship of art. So her thesis was, this is an example of one of those two-part theses, or how you can have two sentences that need to work together in order to build a thesis. So the thesis statement from her introduction was, by its very definition, art is the most significant aspect of the human experience, and that makes it dangerous. This danger lies in art's ability to provoke thought and to question absolute certainties in ways that nothing else can. So we can see that in this essay she is going to have done a few things. She's going to have explained how art is a significant aspect of humanity, how art is dangerous in the ways that it provokes thoughts, and how art causes us to question absolute certainties. Then her conclusion. Repeating the idea, art is dangerous, but it is also what makes us human. In no other species can thoughts and emotions be expressed with the same depth that art provides. Art can be ugly and breathtakingly beautiful, disgusting and deeply moving all at the same time, just like people. Without art, there is no communication, no innovation, and no provocation of thought. Therefore, to censor art is to close the door on human progress. Where faith is comforting and unstructured, art entrances and demands a reaction. It is understandable that not everyone will be comfortable with all art, especially art that has the potential to make people question their religion, but that does not justify its censorship. Simply put, censoring art inhibits the human experience because the human experience is art. So we've drawn together the ideas of how art makes people human through expressing thoughts and emotions. We've drawn together how art can provoke thought in the way that it can be beautiful and yet disgusting at the same time. We had the ideas that art allows communication and innovation, and we've brought in the idea of how censoring art is not the right response to art itself. Okay, so in this very beautifully written conclusion, she's pulled together several of the different topics that were addressed within the body of the essay. All right, your next goal is to